the UAE branch, so you can get the benefits later on if you miss for some reason. So once again, welcome to the session, and the session is talking about the CPD, where we will be discussing the participants about the completing your CPDs. We will be providing online demonstration on how to do the CPD at the platform. We will be taking question and answer through the questionnaire here. So please be with us. Now handling the platform to Khloe and Qadir.
Lovely. Thank you, Saeed. So yes, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Khloe and I'm a CPD coordinator here at IOSH. So let's get started. So what is CPD? So CPD, you know, we as professionals, we need to be giving competent and up-to-date advice. It's an essential part of protecting the workplace and people in the workplace. And it's the responsibility of all health and safety professionals to make sure that they are maintaining and developing their own competence throughout. Completing your CPD is a systematic and it's a planned approach to the maintenance, the enhancements and the broadening of your knowledge, your skills, your expertise, and your competence as professionals throughout your career. And by requiring our graded categories of membership to undertake CPD, IOSH is showing the commitment to the principle that attaining your relevant qualification is not the end of your learning, in that your competence to practice must regularly be developed, it must be regularly reviewed to be a capable and well-rounded occupational safety and health professional. So what are the benefits of completing your CPD? So it's an ongoing and it's a structured approach to organising your development activities. Your employer has confidence that you are, you know, dedicated to your self-development and maintaining those standards. An up-to-date CPD record allows for you guys, again, like I say, to demonstrate your maintenance and development of that skills and that knowledge that you've got. And it also gives the public confidence that IOSH members with mandatory CPD requirements are professionally competent and maintaining their professional standards. Qadir, is there anything more that you would like to add in to the benefits of completing your CPD?
Thanks, Khloe and Syed Mazhar. As you know that CPD is a continuing professional development. It will not only enhance your HSE knowledge and skills, but it will keep you on career advancement, because if you will do some international and national HSE qualifications, certifications, webinars, you will do some mentoring and reverse mentoring, definitely it will aid in your career. And I'm sure that in upcoming slides, once you will explain the demonstration and also the way how we do the CPD, it will be definitely a big advantage to the members, that how they are going to record their CPD and they move forward. So this will not only enhance their knowledge and skills, but it will give them confidence. It will give them an opportunity to develop their personal, professional, and career skills. And I'm a strong believer of CPD. And I feel proud to say that I have attended multiple trainings, certifications, meetings, seminars. I'm a mentor, I am mentee. So it's a long life learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So what are your CPD requirements within Blueprint? So we're now asking you to record a minimum of 30 hours of CPD activities over your 12-month cycle. We're also asking that you do complete the self-assessment, as this is a really good tool for you to benchmark where you are and where you want to be. Off the back of your self-assessment, you'll be given a personal development plan that you are also required to complete. And then we're also looking for a self-reflection from you guys on the activity that you have completed and what benefit it has provided for you. So, Blueprint launched its first phase back in November last year. And like I've said, it consists of a self-assessment tool, a personal development plan, the CPD platform, and it also consists of the IOSH ethical practice in OSH e-learning and assessment. Now, the self-assessment tool is mandatory for members that are Tech IOSH, Grad IOSH, Chartered members and Chartered Fellow members. You'll need to complete the self-assessment when you first log in before you're able to log and record your CPD. Affiliate and associate and student members are able to skip that self-assessment, but we would strongly advise for you guys to be at best practice and to kind of really set yourself up is to do those self-assessments, as it can be a really great tool to help your progression. So like I've said, that self-assessment tool will help you identify those strengths and where your areas for improvement may be. We've also got a CPD resource library that you can use, which has over 1,000 CPD hours in there, and it's got content that's mapped to our competency framework, and it's available for you to read and go through at any time. As I've said, you've got that CPD record to be able to put in and reflect on what you've learned and what you've achieved. And then the IOSH ethical practice in OSH e-learning and assessment is that new learning material that provides you with up-to-date content on ethical considerations that we should all be thinking about that affect organisations, and what also affects the OSH profession in the wider sense as well. So, like I've said, you'll use that self-assessment, which is linked back to our competency framework to benchmark yourself, and to see where you are and see where you can progress to. So, thanks for that. So we're going to move on from the slideshow now, and we're going to go into that demonstration. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen quickly and then share with you the blueprint screen. Right, so bear with me, I do apologise. Be back with you. Okay, so lovely. So can everyone see my blueprint screen? Qadir, can you see that okay? Yeah, perfect. Got a head nod. Lovely. So when you first log into Blueprint, this is what your page will look like. However, you will have more areas on the self-assessment. For the purpose of today's demonstration, there is only one there. But when you log in, there will be 12 areas which are all linked, like I say, to that competency framework. So if I go into this right now and start that, as you can see, it will bring up some questions that you will need to read through. Now, this self-assessment, it's not set out to trick you in any way. It's there for you to go through and answer it to the best of your working practice and what you do in your working day. So you will go through and you will use that. Qadir, are you able to go through the benefits of what you found when you completed your self-assessment, whilst I go through this this demonstration on the self-assessment?
Okay, thank you, Khloe. I just want to share some example here. See, the self-assessment tool, which has been developed through the IOSH Blueprint, is a fantastic tool. As we know that in that there are 3 main sections, and these are the competencies as per the IOSH competency framework. And as you know, that is like technical, behavior, and core. So in that there are 69 competencies. So before we need to do this self-assessment tool, we have to go one by one. And there will be MCQs as you are showing now. So part 1 you have already completed, where there are many MCQs, and we have to choose the best one, which we think is the right answer. And now, as you are going into the part 2, so what will happen once the people will finish part 1 and then they will finish the part 2, their, let's say, sustainability part, one of the competency will be finished. And when you will complete this one, you will find your development areas. So once you have a development areas, you can prepare your personal development plan. So this is how it works. As far as you talked about the benefits of self-assessment tool, the self-assessment tool is a skill and competency evaluation of yourself. Like when you will go inside, there are 69 competencies and nobody is perfect. So you will know what are your skills, those need to be more sharpened. Because being an HSC professional, we know our job, but on daily basis, we have to improve it. So it will not only identify the gaps, but it will also help us how to finish our gaps. So there will be a professional development. So once we have a professional development, it will give us a focused learning. Like, for example, if I am weak in sustainability, as you choose a right item, because normally we, as an occupational safety and health students or professionals, normally we don't give any more focus on environment. So it will give me a focused learning that out of 69, I have to work on, let's say, sustainability. And as you know that the HSC profession is expanding the horizons. So now occupational safety and health, environment and sustainability. So it will give me a chance to grow my skills, and one day I may join in a sustainability field as well. And as you know that once we identify the gaps, we may go for our continuous improvement. It's a continual improvement, because you know that in 69 areas, competencies, maybe you are not a commercial minded person, maybe your financial area is not good, maybe your prioritizing risk competency level is not good. So it will give you a chance to improve yourself. So in some companies, some good employers also appreciate their employees if they are maintaining their CPD and they are closing their gaps. It means they are progressing in their job. They will be an asset for them. So they appreciate those people who have a good CPD. And the most important thing, it will provide a networking opportunity, one of the benefits. Because as you know, that one of the activity or subcategory we have conferences, meetings, seminars, workshops. So in this way, we will learn from our seniors, mentors, and the skilled and expert men of the knowledge HSC professionals. And the most important thing, IOSH membership. As we all know that we have to keep on learning, keep on maintaining our CPD. So as per part of the IOSH code of conduct, I will be in compliance. I will be compliant with the CPD requirements, and I will finish the requirement which you already mentioned, that minimum 6 activities, 30 hours, and you will not revert me back to the affiliate from the CFA. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Qadir. So yes, so once you've then completed your self-assessment, this is the page that you will get. So it will put you where, based on the answers that you've given, it will put you where you are. So you've got the levels here. So you've got your understand, your implement, your lead, and your innovate. Now these do coincide with our membership grades. So if you're currently sat at a student level, affiliate level, you would be looking to be sat at the understand level. Technical members would be looking to be sat at implement. Chartered and graduate members would be sat at lead, and then innovate for our chartered and our chartered fellow members. However, none of this is set in stone. We understand that you guys work in a broad range of roles. What you do day to day will vary. So this section is completely down to you and where you do want to focus your CPD. All this self-assessment will do for you is just highlight those gaps in that knowledge, which will allow you to focus on it if you wish. And like I say, nothing is set in stone. You can always come back to this page, make amendments as and when you wish and for what suits you and your role needs. You've also got the option to add in 5 of your own development areas, which I will show you once we get past this page. If none of what is on this self-assessment page and personal development plan page, fits within the remit of your current role. So as you can see, there's some full circles, and then if I go down a bit, I've got some half circles on that page. Now, the full circle means that you've hit the competency within that level. And if you've got a half circle, that's where those gaps in that knowledge has been identified out. So that's where you can focus your CPD if you wish to. So if I go down, I've selected some areas that I want to focus my CPD on. I'll pick another one, and then I'll click next, and then that will bring me to this page. So I've selected areas that I want to focus my CPD on, and then I can do that going forward. So Qadir, when you did your self-assessment, what did you do with the results? Did you pick out areas that were beneficial to you and where you wanted to focus your CPD on?
Thanks, Khloe. Yes, of course. And as you know that when there are 69 competencies, and being an HSE professional, no one is master and no one is a perfect. So definitely I had some areas of improvement, and I identified some competency gaps, and I developed my personal development plan, and I'm working on it. There were a couple of areas where I need to work more, and there are some areas where I was meeting the criteria. So I have set my PDP, personal development plan, and I'm sure that you will give us a great information for the CPD report resources, which is 1,338 something now available in our database. So I'm also utilizing them, and it's a great asset available within the blueprint, where we need not to go out and look for the information and resources to do the our PDP and improve our competency gaps. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Qadir. So yeah, once you've selected those areas and then you've confirmed them and that's what you want to focus on, this is what your personal development plan will look like. So you can see that you'll be able to put in a date where you want to focus, and you can change that date to suit you and to suit your learning needs and how you go about completing those. And then, as I mentioned, you can add in up to 5 of your own personal development areas. When you're on this page, all you need to do is click on this section here, where it says add personal development area, and then it will bring it up here. And then you can put in whatever is relevant to you, and where you want to focus your CPD that way. So as you can see, I've added my own personal one in here. So I will be completing a master's in health, safety and environment, and that's not on the self-assessment. So that's a personal one that I've put in for myself. And like I say, you can add up to 5 of those. So once you've done all of that, you will then be able to go onto the blueprint dashboard, which looks like this. As you can see, there's a lot going on, but it's really easy to navigate through. So this is where you will be able to go in and log your CPD activities. This will take you back to your personal development plan. So if I click that gives us that plan there. I go back home, and then this is the resource library that Qadir mentioned earlier, where you've got over 1,300 resources that you're able to go in and use that are focused to that self-assessment and that personal development plan. So if we click onto this resource library, as you can see, once it loads, you'll be able to see that there's a whole range of different activities in there that you can go in and do. Whilst it's loading, you've got access to things such as worksheets, It will take you to things such as webinars and podcasts that you can listen to and go through and utilize and add into your CPD. Once it's finished loading, I'll be able to show you. There we go. So as you can see, you can go and search for an activity if you wish, and then you can also filter the activities based on the competencies, which are all linked, again, like I say, to that competency framework and those self-assessment questions. So you've got things that are in your behavioural section, your core section, and then in your technical section. So you can really filter it down to what you want. And then you can also, again, filter it down to that level for where you are or potentially where you want to be. So you can click that and it will just filter down those activities for you. And then if we go back to the home page, we'll go on to add in a CPD activity. So from what you'd need to do when you go in to add a CPD activity is you'll go to this page, and then it's just this top section here where it says add CPD activity, and then you will click and then it will allow you to add everything in here. So you'll be required to put in an activity title, select a category into whatever your activity falls under, just a brief description of the activity and what you've done. And then this is where you will put the hours in against it. So you can only at the moment put in a maximum of 10 hours to a CPD activity. But that's more for your benefit. So you are getting in a range of different activities for what you're doing. And then you, like I say, you'll need to add in a reflection to that CPD activity. So that is what the activity was, why you've done it, what benefit you've got from it, and how you'll use it going forward is what we're looking for in that activity. And you are required to have a minimum of 500 characters in that reflection. So Qadir, how is it that you go and do your reflections and put in your activity on your blueprint record?
Thanks, Khloe. Before we go to the CPD activity, I just want to add few things which are very important, because once we are doing a mentoring, people always approach us and they ask about what are the tips to do the self-assessment tool. So I will just quickly go from there. The tips for that is, please go and review the IOSH competency framework. So you will know what are the three main sections, like core, technical, and behavior. Then there are 12 areas, and these 12 areas are further divided into 69 competencies. So it's a fantastic document which has been developed by many seasoned professionals. Organizations were involved. So there's a lot of information for you which you can learn and utilize in your day-to-day business for your personal and professional growth. The next thing is you have to gather relevant information for your identified gaps. So once you have identified gaps, you will plan ahead and finish your activities and you complete your hours. And the most important thing is you choose a topic and you reflect it, what you have learned, what you gain from it, and how you are going to use it in your career, and what will benefit be given to you. And the message should be very clear and concise once you are finishing your self-assessment tool. Now, the next thing which I want to share with you is a personal development plan, because Khloe has greatly demonstrated in the blueprint that how personal development plan is working. It's a self-assessment. It will tell you where you have to work, what is your gap, and then from there you will set your clear goals. Let's say for me, sustainability was one of the identified gap, so I started reading about sustainability. Then I went for the focused learning, because the focused learning will give me a path where I can improve my skills and knowledge, which will give me the professional growth. And it will pay back to me because it's my continuing professional development and for the career advancement as well. So this is a few tips which I gave you. Now, again, I want to little bit talk about the CPD library because it's a fantastic resource which have been developed for the IOSH members. So access to the relevant content because the updated and current information is available. So we can go and we can read from these resources. The good thing in the CPD library is a structured learning. Like if you are in an understand level, you have a material for understand level. If you are in a second level, which is like a lead level, you have a material available for that. Thank you, Khloe. You are opening the CPD resource. It will help me. That, for example, if you go there and select one level, you will find that you have material for implement. Let's say for your communicating effectively area. So you can go there in the CPD library and you can utilize that. And it will also provide you networking opportunities because inside you will find conferences, seminars, workshops, different type of things available which can enhance your networking. And the most important thing, evidence for CPD. Sometimes we have a link which I'm sure Khloe will share with you where we have to add these materials so we can download and we can upload that I have learned, let's say, accident investigation paper from the IOSH content library. So you can attach an evidence. So it's a fantastic resource which can be utilized. And of course, it is well recognized by IOSH. So we need to get maximum advantage from the CPD resource library. Now I would like to request Khloe, if you can go back to the CPD activity, please.
Yeah.
Because this is a fantastic area where we have to talk a little bit. So whenever we go to add CPD activity, the most important thing is we have to select the title. Let's say, for example, I attended IOSH Managing Safely course, for example. So I will write IOSH Managing Safely course. Now, the good thing in this template is once you click on the category, I'm sure most of you will know that second last is the training and certifications. So we'll just tick mark. So we will put training and certification. Then we have to write description. So what is IOSH Managing Safely? Basically, it's 3 days or 4 days IOSH Managing Safely course, which has certain course learning outcomes, and there are some objectives for the learner. So we will mention here a brief description about that. Now, the most important thing here is the reflection, which is the key in our area. Before reflection, you will find CPD hours, which is, let's say, we can keep minimum 10 hours. So for example, if this course is 20 hours, so you have to break down into the units. So you will finish 20 hours. Let's say you are doing a 5 days course and which is 8 hours per day. So you can put day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and you can put 8 hours. So you will get 40 hours. So it means if you do any 5 days course with 8 hours training, you are compliant in one course. But don't forget, we need minimum 6 activities. So you have to go for more. So it's a very nice, logically, mathematically designed record of CPD activity, which will definitely add in your skills and knowledge. Now, in the reflection, the most important thing which we have to consider is how useful was your learning, how you put this information into your practice, what strengths you gain after doing this training, and then what are your further learning requirements. So this will be a proper reflection. And if you see, this is already mentioned below the reflection statement. There are 2 paragraphs which will help you to write the reflection. Moreover, I would like to request Khloe if he can share you a small video tool which personally I have developed being an IOSH mentor for my mentees, and I'm sure you can do your CPD activity in just 2 minutes.
Yep, lovely. So I'm just gonna quickly stop sharing and then I'll get that video up for you. Lovely. So, Qadir, can you see that okay? Yeah. And then
Yes.
turn up the volume.
Hi, IOSH members. We have developed this template for your easy use for IOSH Blueprint CPD activity. In this, what you will find, you can see the serial number, activity title, category, like branch meetings, group meetings, conferences, seminar, webinars, training and certification, mentoring, industry, publication, and articles. You can choose any activity relevant to these categories. Then you have a description, then you have a reflection, then you have a CPD hours, and then date, start date, and end date. Now this is a template. So if you want to use this template, we have one field example also for you, where you have taken one example of ISO 22301 2019 BCMS lead auditor course. So in this, the category was training and certification. Then we wrote some description of the training and the reflection. In the reflection, we need 500 characters. It should be the application. There should be improvement areas, what you learned. And then there's a CPD hours, then start date and end date. So once you will start to fill this form, you will be able to find a simple record of CPD activity. This is our template, which we have shared for you to learn from it. And then it will reflect how the template is available in the IOSH blueprint. So before you log in, you can do your homework, prepare the activity log. So activity will be transferred to this sheet, and you will find the activity, you will find category, you will find description, you will find the reflection here, and you can find also the CPD hours. In addition to that, you can choose any of your personal development area, and then you can also write here start date, end date, but which will be already reflected. If we go back to the CPD log, so whatever log you will prepare here, it will reflect into your CPD log. So this is a very simple tool which we have developed for IOSH members who are already working on their IOSH blueprint. I hope this will help you, and you will enjoy working on more. If you want this template, please contact us, and definitely we'll share you the editable version. Thank you very much.
Don't use bullet points.
There we go. Lovely. So if I go back and share my screen again. There we go. So thank you for sharing that video today. That's really useful for you guys to know how to go in and record an activity. So when you are in your CPD record and you're putting in an activity, just to double check, you can see my screen, can't you, Qadir? Yeah, perfect, lovely. So your CPD year is based around it's personal to you, to when you joined us as a member, and that's when your CPD cycle will start. So as you can see, mine up here is from January 23 to January 24, and then that's when my cycle will continue. There is a drop down, so any previous CPD that you've put in for previous CPD years will fall into this drop down, and you can access those CPDs that you've done and those activities from that drop down. We do know that you guys, when you put in your activities, you may want to use this to go and take it to your employer for things such as performance reviews and other things like that, and appraisals. You can export all of your activities by clicking this button, and then it will bring it all into an Excel spreadsheet for you, so it's easily accessible for you to take to those things such as your performance reviews and things like that. You'll be able to see as well up here, you've got a progress bar onto where you are with your activities. So as you can see, the green bar here means that I've achieved personally in mine 15.5 hours over my 12 months. And then this orange bar is what I've got left to hit. So you've got a clear guide of how many hours you have achieved and how many hours you've got left to achieve. And as you can see, I've also got 35 hours pending in this section, which I can go in. So for example, if I go into this one, as you can see, it's a half circle. If I just go into that activity, it's currently sat at pending. So something to mention is that you do have to have a minimum of 500 characters in your reflection. So if I just copy and paste this for the example. And as you can see, now I'm over 500 characters, I get the option to add in an end date. So I will put in an end date, and then I'll be able to mark that activity as complete. I can put it against any development area if I wish, if it's relevant, but if it's not relevant, that's absolutely fine. That's more there to put in if it's contributed to something that you've selected from that self-assessment and put it in your personal development plan. And then once I've done everything, so I've got the title, what category it is, a brief description, I've put in my hours, I've put in a full reflection of what the activity was, why I carried the activity out, what I got from it and what knowledge did I gain, and how I will apply it going forward. I'll be able to save that as an activity in my record, and it will go from a pending activity to a completely saved activity. Now, if you go in and there's something in there that is duplicated, so as you can see, I've got 2 IOSH managing safely activities in here, but I only need one. What I'll do is I'll just go into that activity, I'll click edit, and as you can see down here, I've got the option to go in and delete the activity. Now make sure that this is something that you do want to delete, because we can't go back, unfortunately, and retrieve it if you accidentally delete something. So make sure if it's something that you do want to delete, you're just extra sure you don't want it in that record. All I'll need to do is tick that and then click delete, and then it will come out of that record. And as you can see now, I've got rid of that duplicate, and I've only got one IOSH managing safely activity in there. So if I go back to my dashboard, so as I mentioned, one of the new elements, well, as I mentioned in that presentation, one of the new elements that we brought in is the IOSH ethical practice in OSH e-learning and assessment. Now, those e-learning and assessments are mandatory for our chartered and our chartered fellow members. This is because we expect you guys as chartered and chartered fellow members to be at the top of your game and leading the profession. But it's recommended that all of the membership grades, so students, affiliates, technical and graduate members, do carry out these IOSH ethical practice e-learning and assessments, because they are a really great tool to take in those considerations of ethical problems and considerations that organisations need to be doing. So Qadir, when it came to you doing your IOSH ethical practice, how did you approach in completing it, and how long did it take you to complete it in full?
Thanks, Khloe. This is very important module, as you know, for the IOSH blueprint and CPD area. The first thing first, I started with reading the IOSH code of conduct to be familiarized with the basic requirement. What is the IOSH code of conduct? And the most important thing, what I did, as you know, you can see here, there are part 1, there's a part 2, and there's a part 3. So what I did, I just went to the part 1, completed each module and practice questions within the samples given inside the each part, and then I finished my assessment. Then I took some break, and then I went to the second and then completed. So vice versa, I did all 3. So if you want to plan well and you want to finish in one go, I spent 2 hours to complete this one, because if we rush, sometimes we may forgive some important information which may come in the assessment and we may refer. So it is better to go for that. So it took for me 2 hours to finish it. And before we do this one, we must familiarize ourselves with the IOSH code of conduct, so we know what are our responsibilities, and then integrity, honesty, services, and how we are doing it. Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you, Qadir. So yes, like Qadir says, it is best to break it down. You've got those 3 modules to go through, so break it down into easy chunks that are manageable for you. And the same goes with your self-assessment. When you come to complete that, you don't have to do it all in one go, because there is 12 sections of that self-assessment. So please do break it down. You can always come back to it as well. And I think it's worth mentioning the time that you take to complete your self-assessment and those IOSH ethical practice e-learning and assessments can all count towards your CPD hours. So as Qadir mentioned, it took him 2 hours to complete those ethical e-learning and assessments. So that's 2 hours of CPD that Qadir can put into his CPD record. So one of the final things that I do want to go through on this blueprint screen is the accessibility toolbar. So the accessibility toolbar has been introduced because if you used our previous system, you would have known that it was a little bit clunky. It wasn't that user-friendly. And introducing this accessibility toolbar enables you guys as members to be able to adapt it to your needs and your learning needs. So you're able to go in and do things such as change the language. So we understand that not everyone's first language is English. So you've got the option to go in and use this to put it in a language that is better for you to read and understand. So as you can see, as I'm scrolling through, we've got a lot of different languages that you can filter this this tool down to, which will work for you. You've got the option to make things bigger, make things smaller if you need to. You've also got the option to change the background to suit, again, your learning needs and your learning styles and things like that. So yeah, you've got access to that toolbar as well. And then if you've got any kind of issues within Blueprint, we do have a help section here. So you've got summary guidance videos, FAQs, and support videos that can help you in completing things. So you've got support videos for the competency framework and that self-assessment that we've been speaking about, support and help videos for adding in activities, and then you've also got support videos for the IOSH ethical practice in OSH e-learning and assessments. And then if there's anything in those that, or if there's things that aren't in there that aren't covered, you've got our contact details here, which you can contact us on directly, and we'll be more than happy to help you, myself and the other CPD coordinators in the team. So, Qadir, is there anything else from you that you would like to add in before we open up the floor to some questions?
No, I'm fine with that. Thank you very much.
Lovely. So yeah, this is where we can open up to some questions. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Khloe and Qadir. Indeed, it was a very comprehensive presentation on Blueprint. Okay, we have a bunch of questions. The first question is, what will be the self-assessment impact on membership category transfer?
So there's no impact. So if you're looking to change your membership grade, it's still the same process. So you would need to send us a copy of your OSH qualification along with an up-to-date copy of your CV. to the professional development and standards team, and they will be able to review that. The self-assessment is just a tool there for you to be able to see where your strengths are, and where any gaps in your knowledge may be. So that's where it can help you focus your CPD, that self-assessment.
Thank you very much. Another question is, can we revise our self-assessment anytime after completing the blueprint?
Yeah, so if I just go in and do a little demonstration on that. So if you go to your personal development plan and there's areas that you want to reassess, you can go in, select development areas, and at the top of the screen, you've got this little button here, which says reassess. So if you click that, it will give you a bit of a warning that says, it asks you if you do want to reassess, you just click OK. And then you can select the areas that you may want to reassess. So you can do, if there's just one, so say, for example, I want to reassess on sustainability, I will just tick that. It will ask you to pop in your password. So it is extra secure to make sure that you really do want to reassess. And then you will just click save, and it will go through and give you the option to go back through it. So, yeah.
Thank you. Does the CPT have a certificate like other courses, or it is just like a risk assessment for the sharpness of the skills?
So none of the activities on here do have a certificate. So the IOSH ethical practice, it doesn't give you a certificate after completion. It is something that we have put in to see if we're able to bring it in, but at the moment we don't. And things in the resource library, there may be different resources that have a certificate of completion at the end, but not all resources do. So yeah.
Before we go to any other question, I would like to highlight one thing here, because whenever we are doing IOSH mentoring, I always receive a question regarding the reassessment of the development areas. So the option which you shared with me, thank you very much, Khloe. It will give a great input to the people, because previously when people were reassessing, they were doing for all 69 activities.
Yes.
So now this is a new option. Once you will click, let's say I want to reassess my skill in only sustainability or only in the commercial mind, I can just click it and I will do it. So my half, sometimes half or partial circle is being highlighted. So
Yeah.
I will only improve in that area. Thank you very much.
No problem. Yeah, so it was originally where if you wanted to reassess, you did have to do the whole thing again, but we do understand that it is very time consuming to go and do that. So that's why we've brought in that feature to be able to filter it out, so you can reassess the areas that are more of value to you. So yeah, is there any other questions that we've got?
Could we read the CPD resources and use them for the competency gap?
Yeah, absolutely. So your CPD resource library is there. They all do directly link to that competency framework. So if I just go back into it, once it loads, but you are able to select the competencies and select the areas that are relevant to that competency. So everything that is in this resource library directly links back to that self-assessment and that personal development plan. So you can really filter it down to what is best for you, and yeah, use it as a tool.
There is one question a member asked, is it only me? I'm unable to upload CPD activities evidence. It won't allow me to upload my documents such as certification. The save button is not clickable.
Okay, no problem. So in regards to uploading evidence, there is a limit to what you can upload. So anything that is over 8 megabytes, it won't let you upload just because the file is too big. So any evidence that you do upload, make sure if you are having any issues uploading, just double check the size of what you are uploading, because if it's any bigger than 8 megabytes, it won't save. So yeah.
If someone is working on personal development plan where his or her area is weak. So how many CPD does she require to complete and add in the relevant category?
So that is completely personal to you. You know, you're the best at knowing how much you need to do, and you know, I'm sure Qadir can answer this as well. It's completely personal to you. So yeah, Qadir, I'll let you put your feedback.
Fantastic question. Fantastic question, because this question has been always asked. And the good thing is, as she has already opened the CPD resource library, so from here you can know that you can get 0.15 hours, or you can get 1 hour, you need 3 hours. So based on your personal growth, maybe you need to do multiple IOSH content available here. Maybe you will do some trainings, maybe you will attend some webinars, maybe you will attend some conferences, so that you will know which is your weak area. For example, I will give you example of root cause analysis. Let's say I am good in accident investigation, but I'm always confused with the root cause analysis between immediate cause and the root cause. So I will go to the CPD resource library. If something is available with respect to the accident investigation, I go inside, review it, and try to strengthen my skill. Or I can go out and go to the non-IOSH content, read it, and try to understand. So as Khloe said, it is a personal need, number one. And number two, you have resources available, how you want to utilize it. And then based on your gap, you can improve your skills and knowledge. Thank you.
Another question is CPD maximum hours limit in the system is 10 hours only. If someone completed level 6 diploma recently, then well, it will be considered 30 hours CPD or only 10 hours CPD.
So yes, you have only got that 10-hour limit. But Qadir mentioned it earlier, so you can go in and you can break it down into different units, into different days that you've done, and then allocate the hours that way. Your hours will soon add up with the amount of different activities that you're doing. But another thing that you can do as well is that you can also pop into your reflection the total amount of hours that you've done. Because like you say, we know that a course is going to be longer than 10 hours. So yeah, pop it in that reflection, and we can see that when we come to audit as well, the amount of time that you spent on it.
Thank you. Is the CPD library material?
Oh, sorry, you cut off halfway through that question, Asif. So can you just repeat that, please?
Is the CPD library material can be used as CPD activities?
Yes, absolutely. So everything in that resource library can be used as an activity. And as you can see, there's time against it. So these are only estimates of how much time it may take you. It may take some people a little bit longer. So make sure that you do put in the full amount of time that you spent. Those times that are, as you can see on the page, are only a guide time. But yes, everything in this resource library can be used and put down as an activity.
Can we use walkthrough observation as a part of CPD?
Yeah.
I want to add something here. The most important thing in the CPD is your professional experience. Maybe you are doing walkthroughs and audits on regular basis, but if you have learned something and which you can reflect in your reflection account, you can add it. But for example, if I'm going on a daily inspection and I found a regular observations and I requested my company to close them, fantastic, is my regular business. But did you found any, if you found any critical observation and you really learned something from it, you can add it under the professional experience category, and you add hours, whatever you spent. Thank you very much. A fantastic question.
Thank you. Is it mandatory to upload an evidence for every CPD?
No, so we've never formally required evidence from you. That section is there if you choose to upload evidence. So if you've completed a course and you've got the certificate at the end and you want to upload it, you've got that option too. But the thing that we are looking for the most, and that is the most important, is that reflective account of the activity that you've completed.
Okay. Can I select more than one development area for single CPD activity?
Yes, absolutely. So you've got the option to click as many as it's relevant to. And yeah, you've also got the option if none of those development activities are relevant, you don't have to click it. But yes, you can click as many as relevant to you.
How long is the required CPD maintenance period in order to transit from grade IOSH to CM IOSH?
So that's not applicable. So when it comes to you going for your chartered, it's a completely different process. So that may be a question for if you get in touch with our professional development team, they will be able to go through that process of you becoming chartered. But your CPD record is there for the development and the maintenance of your knowledge, for you to use it as that tool.
One more question. Is it permissible to include courses I completed before I started maintaining my CPD record? If I finish a course a year ago, can I add it to my CPD record?
You can if you want to. However, we would recommend that you just start uploading the activities that you're carrying now, because if you're uploading something that you did a year ago, it will fall into a previous CPD year, which it's fine if you want to upload it, but in terms of for your completing your mandatory 30 hours, it's what you're completing within this CPD year, which is most relevant.
Thank you very much. That's it from my side. Thank you, Syed, Khloe, and Qadir. That was yours.
Thank you very much, everyone. First of all, it is a great event, and the number has increased, touched sometime 200 and plus, I would say. And Khloe, Qadir, you both have done a tremendous job. You brought a lot of stuff which were previously asked by the members, and even the non-members, those were entrusting, to come and to join IOSH as members. They were scared of the CPD and blueprint, but I believe you made it very easy for them. And apart from this, those people have missed this event for some reasons. The recording will be available under the IOSH website, under the UAE page. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. As a chair for the IOSH UAE branch and my committee, we are trying our best to facilitate you as much as we can. We have reached to 3,473 members. It is indeed with your wishes, with your helps. Apart from this, anybody wants to approach to the IOSH UAE branch members, please feel free to approach us through our LinkedIn page, or write us through the UAE@IOSHnetworks.com, or approach us individually to myself or my 17 committee members. Once again, thank you very much, Khloe. Thank you very much, Qadir, Asif, Emeline on the background. She has handled everything, and everything went very smoothly. So thank you very much, and have a great day. Signing off, Syed Mazhar. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.